Hey everybody, this is Carrie at Reseller Revenue. I sell jewelry full-time on eBay, and I also have the Reseller Revenue group on Patreon, and I like to just be really transparent with my sales. Hopefully I'm on track for 250,000 this year, gross on eBay, but I always share my numbers and I share, the good, bad, and the ugly that, of course I am not getting anywhere near $250,000 out of eBay. But I try to really show you guys how it's done and how I really think everybody can do this. It's just a lot of work and it definitely doesn't happen overnight. So many of you guys know I've been on a sourcing trip and I just got back. Let's say I think we drove back Wednesday. So my store was on vacation mode from October 19th, and that's because we have to allot some time for offers, and then your offers have to be able to be accepted and paid for before you go, or you need to take things with you. And I didn't want to take anything with me. However, I did have my oldest son, my son, 18-year-old was at home. He's not my oldest, but was at home and he could ship for me. So if something did slip through, I was covered, but I didn't really want him to have to. So put the store on vacation mode October 19th, and I shipped normally through the 23rd. And so then we left on the 23rd, and I also listed normally to the 23rd. So after that, I listed 5 a day. So not very many, but I was just trying to keep the store alive. And then I took the store off of vacation mode. Sorry, I have some notes because I can't remember dates for anything. I turned it back on October 29th. So I'm going to show you, and that was on our way back home. I'm going to show you my traffic and my sales and stuff for that period, just to kind of give you an idea what happens when I go. I'm not immune to the whole vacation mode issue as far as, how our sales get affected and all that good stuff. So let's see, here is the time while I was gone. You can see, so the impressions don't look terrible. Here's October 19th. You can see at first it really wasn't a big deal, and then it kind of isn't amazing and it pops right back. I always say there's like about a 3 or 4 day window where when you come back, things will just go back right back to normal, and they did. So no worries there. You can kind of see that's impressions, but here's listing views, and you can see how it just slowly goes down, right? And then here I turned it, here's about where I start turning it back on and things start going right back up. So this is just to show you that I don't think any store is immune to how we lose those views and stuff when we're in vacation mode. But then immediately when I start listing normally again, they go right back up. So I think I started listing normally again on the 30th. And you can see right here, there it is. There's the 30th right there, and it just goes up, 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 up. So hopefully today will be even better. I had a great sales weekend. You can see that overall the period of, versus 30 days is still down a little bit, but I'm not worried about it because I did have that week off, and things are going good overall. So everything went as expected, how I thought it would while I was gone. I'm not stressed out about it. Let's see the actual numbers here. So this is from the time I had my store on vacation mode through today. Uh, Sales are down compared to the 16 days before. That's to be expected since it was on vacation mode. But my net sales were still good enough to keep me trucking along, even though they're down 26%. My quantity sold is down 31%, and my ASP is up. So that's great. Not worried about it. This is fine. Here we go down. I wanted to show you. Yeah, see here you can see. So this line that goes by is the prior time period. So it'd be the previous 16 days. And as you can see, when I go on vacation mode, you can see I am below, except for this one, rogue day. Oh, that's the day I turned nope, that's not. So everything just kind of, it was all below. And you can kind of see then, oh, when did I turn my store back on? Right there. And I did have kind of an off day on Thursday, but that's okay. And now we're trucking back along pretty normally. So you can see it does really hit you when you go on vacation mode, but we all have to take time off. I have to go away to source a lot of the time, so I have to put my store on vacation mode. I recommend doing this over changing handling time, only because if you have lots of listings, it takes a long time to get ones that like have an offer out. You can't change them and they stay under the old policy, and then you got to get them all moved back. So I just don't do it. Put on vacation mode. eBay's got your back while when you're on vacation mode. I've never had any trouble. I do send offers. I do make sales. And even though it's less than usual, it's when I'm gone. So I think that's great. I don't worry about it too much. All right, let's see some sales for a while during this time period. Not my usual things, right? But as you guys know, we're farmers in Iowa, and I do come across big manuals and things like that. This was in terrible condition. I mean, as far as being written on and dirty. But when people need one of these, they need one. So if I can get these really cheap, and I think I bought a whole box of these for 10 bucks, I pick them up because especially the specific ones like Caterpillar, they sell pretty good. They take a while. They have that, they got to find the right buyer. Mine sold on my 35% off sale for $65. Easy to ship, no problems there. This was a really cool bracelet. Do I think I could have got more out of it? Well, sure, maybe, but it was in a lot. I didn't pay a whole lot of money for it. I got $79.76 for it. You guys know I'm kind of doing this like cash fall weekends where I like to have it where I'm generating a lot of sales and lots of cash. I'm definitely a volume seller on the weekends. I run 30 to 35% off on my store, and I'm fine with that. And then the rest of the time, it's all dependent on how long something's been listed. So some Chaparral earrings. Some of you guys may remember this from when I went to that flea market. So it's missing two stones here, one right there, one right there. It's missing two little pearls. It had some wear on them. I paid $1 for these, but they're great earrings, right? So if they were in really great shape, they would have sold for more. But I'm more than happy to get $100 out of those earrings. Actually, I think I took an offer for 80, so I don't think that's right. I think I took an offer for 80. This was a really nice gold-filled locket. I love gold-filled lockets. They're just so cool. And also for the person that suggested that I need to say the price out loud for those listening, I really appreciate that because I didn't realize I wasn't doing that. So thank you so much for that. I love the little two tones there. And I don't remember what I paid for it. I'd be lying if I said I did. But there's the inside of it. Pretty small little dainty locket, but very pretty. Here's a Jules Jurgensen watch. I literally listed it and it sold. So was it underpriced? I don't know. Am I worried about it? No, I'm not. So it was listed for $179.99. Instantly got put under my 35% offer on the weekend, sold for $116.99. Totally happy with it. I do not get concerned about those instant sales, like, oh, did I underprice it? If it's something I'm going to keep selling, I will check the comps, but lots of times I'll go into the 3-year history and it'll tell me that it's the highest price sold in 3 years. Am I going to complain about that just because it sold right away? I'm not. I really like these little watch pendants. They sell pretty good. This one was, it whined and it ticked fine and it was gold filled. It had a lot of great things going for it. People like these. They seem to be pretty in right now. This one had a really cool little cameo on the back too, which was neat. This was another Cameras and Cross. My Cameras and Cross supply is about gone, guys. It was neat. It had a little cool little blue stone in it, but it had been listed since September 8th. So it had been there a little bit, not too terrible long. Here's some Christian Dior earrings. These have been listed since June. So I think I must have overpriced them or just nobody really wanted them yet. And they sold for around $100 on my 32% off sale, which I'm guessing was on a weekend. I loved this piece, and I know the person that bought it is also going to love it. It was the little heart thing didn't really match it, but it was just a really nice piece. It was well done. I think I got this at the flea market in Missouri when I was down there. So it sold for $110.46. This was in that big lot of Bakelite I got, which, part of it wasn't Bakelite, but that's fine. I test all of my Bakelite. I do not sell it as Bakelite unless I get a semichrome test that shows that it is, where you rub on it, make sure it's clean so you're not getting like tobacco stain or anything. But you rub it with a little bit, tiny bit of semichrome, and if it turns bright yellow, then it is. So I did note that I don't know if he ever had a little rhinestone eyeball or whatever, but he didn't have one when I got him. So I did note that. I think I took an offer for 95 on him. It was a really cool little carved piece. Got a lot of good Bakelite out of that. This one sat for a while. I listed it September 17th, excuse me. But it had some really neat stones on it. And I don't remember what the offer was I took on it, but I want to say $80, something like that. So I was fine with that. My guess is I had $4 to $5 into it. I really like watch chains. You guys know that about me. Look for the watch chains. Look for the markings that are oftentimes inside of the little hooks or on the backs of the hooks. Sorry, Molly's on the move here if the camera moves. She hasn't left my side since I got back, my little Frenchie. There's the signature. So oftentimes they're either on the outside of the hook. Sometimes they will be on the inside of that hook. So make sure you look in both places. A lot of these are gold filled. Actually, most of the really old ones are gold filled. So watch for that. Black glass cameo, Art Nouveau. This one was just the construction was all there. So not all black pieces are, like black cameos or the black glass cameo necklaces. They're not all morning pieces. I try to be really careful to not label things morning pieces when they're not. But this just had the construction around the piece was so nice, and that part right there is really nice. The chain was etched. It just had a lot of really great things going for it. It was a really well constructed piece. It was probably in the Art Nouveau period. I'm not amazing with that. You guys know that, but it was a quality piece. So I know whoever got this is going to love it. And it sold for $137.61. This one right here, I took an offer, I think of $115. I had never seen one of these. I think you say Felka. It whined, it ticked. I check them. I do take the backs off when I can get them off and take pictures of the movement. It was sorry, it looks like it was in bad condition, but it really wasn't for its age. And it was gold filled. So it was a pretty cool little piece. This was nice. My Nolan Miller collections are also kind of going down, running out of them. It sold, I think I got I want to say 171 something. I did not get the full 223. I don't believe. So it was such a beautiful collection though. There, I paid $15 for this set. I do know this one because I remember buying it. So do not get discouraged on these. For one, if they sit for a while, and for another, if you have a good piece, it's okay to let it ride for a little bit, but don't be afraid to decrease the price when necessary. It's much better than not ever selling it and then wishing you had, and then it ends up on a 50% off sale anyway. So I'll give you a quick rundown of my vacation. There was a few good, bad, and uglies in there as far as I'll just talk about the reselling portions of it. So on the way down there, I stopped at a little bitty small town out in the middle of nowhere land. I'd seen on Facebook some advertising that it had lots of jewelry. It did have lots of jewelry and it was priced correctly. It wasn't necessarily really high quality, but some of it was good enough. There was lots of cool beggar's bead necklaces. There was lots of glass beaded necklaces, things that were worth picking up for sure for $2, $3, almost everything. So that was great stop. I sourced every single day on my trip. So we did fun things in between, but I did do sourcing every day. I'm pretty sure my husband was completely over it by the end of the time. So I went to a place in Eureka Springs, which was probably my most interesting stop. That town was, because while I was in the store, I knew there was like Halloween festivities going on, but I didn't realize there was a zombie crawl. And so I went to the store and I was frustrated anyway, because all the costume jewelry was upstairs, which was fine, but there was some people's very unruly children that were just allowed to like hang off the sidebars and just do whatever. And I was completely like, whose kids are these? Like my kids did not behave like that in public, and they were, parents were nowhere to be found and didn't care. So I was already kind of trying to hurry through it because I don't know. I just don't do that. And I had my box of jewelry there, and the guy made me a really great deal. There was like two or three, I think three Trifari birthday bracelets still in the original packaging. And he was like, hey, here's a box, and the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. And he did really good with me. Great guy. I ended up buying some trays he had in the back that he didn't put out yet. And the bad thing is, by the time I got done, the whole entire streets of Eureka Springs were filled with zombies. And if you look up the Eureka Springs zombie crawl, you will see that I was absolutely not exaggerating. And I was on the parade route of the zombie crawl. And it's downpouring rain. So I am now getting out, trying to find Jed, who had parked the car. And he said by a post office. I don't even know what a post office is. So I'm walking down the streets, literally fighting my way through zombies and people with like IV blood bags and people with axes in their head, trying to find the car. I finally find what, I'm pretty sure is my car. I open the car door. My husband's like, get out of the car, just to scare me about, not to mention I'm carrying this big box of valuable jewelry. through all this. But anyway, that was probably the most interesting. I did find a really great antique mall that was in the Springfield area that I ended up, they're just like, hey, just come behind the counter, because I think I was driving crazy looking at stuff. And I made a huge pile, got lots of great stuff. And my husband got sick of waiting in the car and came out and was like, oh, you work here now? I'm like, yeah. And there was also people asking me questions, but I always just play along with that when people ask me questions. If I'm behind the counter looking through stuff, like, hey, do we have pickle lids? Whatever. People ask me for something, I'll be like, hey, do we have that? Because, they're nice enough to let me behind the counter. I'll help people if I can. So I also, while I was gone, my gold person at Capital City Coin and Bullion in Des Moines, they are amazing people, family run business, super honest. I never worry about them ever not getting me the correct amount or the highest price they can. I had set in a scrap box before I left, and she texted me, and she always shows me like, hey, this was 10K, this was 18K, this is, whatever, breaks it down for me. And it basically, that check paid for all my sourcing while I was gone. So fabulous. Make sure you guys are taking in your scrap. Good prices right now. And so that was awesome. I got to meet up with Wagner from the group, which was also great. Me and his wife, Marietta, who is also in the group. She just doesn't get to attend a lot of the live calls because she's at work, off outside of their business. So got to meet with him. He's just as nice in person as he is on any of the calls. That was super great. Love meeting people from the group. And then we also got to have dinner with some of our sheep friends that we meet up with yearly. They're from Carl Junction. And if you guys don't know this about me, I'm a sheep farmer. We're down to like 250 ewes right now, so not as many as we used to have. But during lambing season, I will take you guys along to see baby lambs and all that. And you guys can see some of my sheep on Kenyan Katahdins on Facebook if you'd like to check them out. And on the way home, and while we were there, one of my eBay sellers that is, I've sourced some great stuff through, texted me and said, hey, I just put up a new lot. You may like it. I get on there and greedy me puts an offer in. And I should have just bought the dang lot. It was a great lot. I get great stuff from this person. By the time I could go in and do full price, somebody had already bought it full price, because they were smarter than me and they weren't being greedy sending an offer. I do not know why I do that to myself, but I do. And I don't know, just buy the dang lot when it's good and pay the price. So I missed out on that. And then on the way home, I had two choices. There was a seller that I know that offered for me to come by and look at a lot before they sold it. And then there was another person that was a full lifelong collection type of thing. I picked the lifelong collection and the pictures were good over the other one, just because I thought my value was at this one. What I forgot to ask, what I didn't ask, which was my fault, is I didn't ask if they were smokers. So I get there and there is indeed a lot of jewelry, good jewelry, a lot of smoke that I didn't know that I really wanted to deal with. And then when we started talking price, we were like $20,000 apart. So actually more than that. I think we were 30,000 apart. I think she started off negotiations at 32,000. I was like at 8,000. So we were pretty far apart in price. Total bust. Wasn't going to happen. Nice people, but really far apart. So I should have gone the other direction. So that wasn't great. But these things happen when we resell. Sometimes we have to make those choices. Do we go to this flea market? We go that flea market. Sometimes we pick the wrong one. I also went to an estate sale while I was down there in the Springfield area. Very nice. All the jewelry was like $2 and $3. I did really well. And it was a nice experience too. So if you guys are traveling, if you're out and about, get on our phone. Let's look to see where there's an estate sale, where there's a garage sale, where's the thrift stores, and try these hole in the wall places, because that's where I have the best luck, is the little off the beaten path places. Not usually the commercially advertised ones. Those usually are a little high price for me to resell. But I also ask the locals. I will get on the local Facebook groups before I travel somewhere, and I'll say, hey, I'm looking for old costume jewelry. What do you guys, where should I go while I'm here? And that's where I got most of my great recommendations. So ask the locals, ask people that are down there all the time, and they will usually direct you in the right way. So tomorrow for our group call, I'm going to be talking about, me increasing my listings and things that I think we really got to hone in on if you're going to be full-time, that can make the big difference. If you're doing 10 to 15 a day, I feel like if you're not totally zoned in, I think that we can make it work. But when, like right now, I'm doing 70 a day, but I'm only launching 50 a day, and the other 20 go towards the weekend. To get 70 done in the morning, because that's when I'm my best, and before I start, feeling old and where it takes me twice as long as it does to do things normally, I feel like I have to be on the ball. And there's certain things I've kind of learned and realized throughout the years that help me be on the ball and keep me in the zone. And so I'm going to share those in the group tomorrow's call. And then also, I've been offering a free coaching, like exactly if you guys paid me for coaching, what I do with any of the group members for free on Thursdays. So I think we're booked all the way out through the middle of January. But if you are in the group, and even if you're kind of a silent member and you want a free store or a financial review, whatever you want to get out of it, whether you want help with pricing or promoting or whatever you want help with, I will do it exactly as if we were in a paid private session. And it's in the group, and it will be in the Patreon files, but it will not be released to YouTube. So make sure to message me if you want one of those and you're in the group, or join the group, and you can also get that for part of it. I think it's a great experience. It really is. And if I could find, or if anybody's out there and wants to help me, that, if you're a better jewelry seller than me and you see like, oh, her store's peanuts on eBay and it's plush and much, I get asked that all the time. I don't mind sharing. I share my numbers anyway. Please go contact, like if you're willing to help me, give me a story view. Like I can't imagine saying no to somebody that's doing great and reselling, wanting to help me. So I hope that people in the group take advantage of that, because I love to help them, and it will not go on YouTube, just within the group. So I appreciate everyone. I'm sorry this was a long one, but I just got back, wanted to throw it out there. Tomorrow's jewelry call, I'm going to share some of my favorite finds that I got. I'll probably be releasing that on Saturday, so I'll share my favorite finds there. And I really appreciate you guys. Check us out on Patreon, and we're on Instagram, Facebook, all that great stuff. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to